I get to play a lot of StarCraft 2, watch a lot, and then like StarCraft Remaster's coming out, and I played. I'm like, oh yeah, this is what got me to dedicate my entire existence as a human to a video game.
I'm just saying weird things to people I know. Like, you don't know how good my hands feel right now. Because, like, when you play, you get really into it. Like, 1 click, 2 click, 3 click, 4 click to move a small amount of Zerglings from A to B. It feels so good. My hands feel good.
Yeah.
Feels good, man.
Taso's hands feel good, too.
My hand is the only hand that's not feeling good. Artosis came with a bat in the middle of the night and broke my hand, so I could not win this tournament. So I've been conscripted to talk about the games, but that's fine. That's fine.
I told you to tell everyone you close it in a door. What are you doing?
I fell. We've got 8 players. 8 legends outside of Korea. A lot of people don't know that there were a lot of great players in the non-Korean scene. We never had the support of like Kespa.
We were playing for no
major
money.
TV networks. Yeah, and here they are now. We have Americans G5, Nyoken, iNcontroL, and some guy named Artosis. Draco from Poland, Rhett from the Netherlands. We also have White Rob from Ukraine and Legionnaire from Australia.
And we're going to get a chance to have conversations with all of them here. And this will honestly be kind of like, well, it literally is a LAN party. Like, we're here.
No, it's cool. We got PCs spread around.
We're on a couch.
Like,
we're laid back guys, you know? Like, we can host a show, but it's like, hey, you also might want to have a beer with us, right? We're down to earth. We got a Christmas tree back here because it's basically Christmas when StarCraft Remastered comes out.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, look at that.
That's actually like a cat house, too.
Is it
There's
really?
like cat toys all over it. Look, it's got holes for cats to go through.
We have not seen a cat in this house yet.
Wow, maybe there's a cat.
Maybe there's a cat terrified right now hiding in this house. I don't know. Our first match to start things off is going to be Nyoken versus iNcontroL. Why don't we go ahead and talk about these two guys?
Well, Nick and I met Dan when we were in 6th grade. And
Nyoken Dan. Yeah.
Nyoken.
Fake Dan, as we like to call him.
Yes.
Fake Dan, because I'm the real Dan. There's Fake Dan right there.
And there's Machine.
Behind him.
Machine's here. Oh, he's going to take cover now. He's like, I've been spotted, guys. He's going back. Sorry, go ahead. Whoever you are, Day 9. Yeah. I'm like, who are you? Like,
you over there.
Yeah, you over there.
I'm Sean.
Sorry. Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, like we actually met Dan in 6th grade. This is Nyoken right here. Nick and I, we had found the cool hidden channels because, Al Gore hadn't invented the internet yet, so there was no way to really find community sites and people. What would happen is that you would play a game of StarCraft, and once you thought that you lost, you didn't say GG and leave. You'd sit there and just talk to the person for a little bit. How did you do that? What happened? Because that was literally the only way you were ever going to know.
Hacker.
We didn't have replays. We didn't have
replays
anything.
didn't exist, and so you found out about things like Clan X17 or Clan No Hunters.
Yeah.
Oh God, I forgot about
No
Hunters.
No Hunters, man. I used to go there all the time.
Yeah. And then we met Dan, and long distance calls existed back then. The idea of someone's far away, so it's hard to call
We were
him.
racking up Mama's phone bill.
Yeah.
Calling Nyoken. We'd chat with him on
Hopefully
the phone.
not while he's laddering, because we all used dial-up back then.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. And it was kind of crazy because, you meet a whole bunch of people just playing games, and as the competitive scene slowly grew, Nyoken was just always there, always competing as a top American player. In fact, when StarCraft 2 came out, Nyoken was one of the few people that didn't switch to StarCraft 2, just said, no, I really like Brood War. I'm going to continue to play Brood War. StarCraft 2 is great. Watched it, but just wanted to keep playing StarCraft 1.
I think mechanically he's one of the most gifted players in this tournament. He's really fast. He's really
solid.
Fast,
yeah. I think strategically he's really good.
Yeah.
He was always known as a TVT expert, better than the other matchups, I would say. And in fact, these two played. Didn't they play in the USA Finals 2007? If I recall.
Yeah, iNcontroL won.
Yeah.
Yeah. iNcontroL, who I guess we can bring up now. iNcontroL. This is, I would say, one of the most strategic Zerg players. That you can find outside of Korea. He is very sneaky. He's very deceptive.
And now, that's putting it tactfully. Jeff's cheesy. Jeff's cheesy as all hell in this matchup. Jeff is unapologetically. We're going to have lurkers getting slow dropped into main bases.
Yes. I'm glad that you cleared that up for us. But he was he's been around since literally the beta of StarCraft 1. He started playing. Obviously everyone knows he's been around forever at this point. And he was like an undervalued Zerg in a lot of ways. Like he was in
sure.
TOT. Remember, TOT was like one of the best teams ever.
Yeah, Templars of Twilight.
Yeah, and they really
cool name.
No, look, are you kidding me? All of us have really cool names.
That's right.
Day 9, Tasteless.
That's the coolest
and,
name you've ever seen. Man.
You know what? How do plants get nutrition from the sun through a process known as artosis?
Artosis, yeah. An ID that sounds like a hip disease.
Yeah.
But
yeah, iNcontroL was like I feel like he was always like really undervalued, and you know, eventually he left TOT. They weren't really using him in Clan Wars and stuff. Came to Media boys.
Oh my gosh, that's
the
right.
Media boys are flooding through this tournament, but yeah, I mean he became, I think, one of the best foreign Zergs by the end of it. Before StarCraft 2 came out, he was really strong.
Was good in a way that I never even attempted to try to be good at. I just did. I don't know. It doesn't like work in my brain because I'm like a super defensive. Let's make this game go on longer sort of player.
Yeah.
I just want to get more expansions, continue to build up, try to slowly grind my way to some advantage. But Jeff's the sort of player that goes, oh, you messed that one thing up, and he will just go like super hard all in for it. And it's easy to look at that and go, oh, that's just an all-in play. But with Zerg, you have larvae coming in so slowly until you get to 5 or 6 hatcheries, which is very rare to even get to in this matchup. And Jeff would really commit to a lot of.
He's somebody who will show information to actually throw the player off.
Yes,
he's one of the few, and that's actually very hard to do as a Zerg player. By the way, if we can actually throw that graphic back up real fast, just so we can show who's in this group right now. It's Nyoken versus iNcontroL first, and then we have White Raw versus Draka. Now, the way this tournament is working, we have 2 groups. It's basically the GSL format. If you guys are familiar with that. For those of you who are not, who are new, basically the winner moves on to the winner's match. If you win there, you get out of the group. The 2 losers then face off against each other. After that, whoever won the loser's match then goes on to face off against the person who lost in the winner's match. So we have 2 people advancing, 2 people getting knocked out.
That's right, GSL style.
As God intended it to be.
And we'll be playing through to the winner's match and the lower match, but we will save that final deciding match for tomorrow. So,
we will.
Yeah. We're doing 8 matches today and 8 matches tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
And you know, it's kind of weird because we got guys from different eras of Brood War here. Some of these guys have been completely inactive for a while. Others, you know, upon the announcement of StarCraft Remastered, were playing and trying to get back into it. So it's very tough to say who's actually going to come out on top in this tournament, just because we don't really know. Red is actually probably the safest.
It's red.
It's probably the safest bet. Okay, no, you're
just
right.
to clear the air on that. Like,
Red's probably in the best shape out of everybody.
Yeah, I think him and Nyoken are in very good shape right now.
That would be an upset then, and I believe we're getting into this
Are we
game.
starting?
Oh my God!
It's happening! It's happening!
Oh, it's so beautiful.
Oh my! What a gorgeous! Look at those rich blue hues on the mineral
fields.
Oh
my God!
God, yes.
We made it, boys.
Oh God, this feels.
Look at the media tags. I am just like in heaven right now.
I was saying that this is a problem because this is going to turn that guy who's had the same crush on the girl for 18 years but never told her that one day his dreams might come true. And for me, that just happened. StarCraft Remastered just came out.
So we got a ZVT here. We got Nyoken in the upper right as Terran, iNcontroL in the upper left as Zerg.
34 SKUs! Oh, my God.
Oh, I didn't catch that. What did he do?
Okay, so Skew was invited to BlizzCon. He's Skew Media, another top American Terran player, and he lost his matches. Like, he got the BlizzCon invite, right, and there was no qualification. They just would, like, invite people, and we were all so jealous. Oh, my God, it's like Skew got it. But he was so good. It was fine. He lost against Zelos, I believe it was. He was like trying to proxy barracks, and Zelos scouted it, and he left the game, and it was 2 minutes and 11 seconds. So this became an amount of time. A Skew is 2 minutes and 11 seconds.
That's so brutal.
So when you start measuring it, you know, it's like if this is going to take 34 SKUs, it's like, okay, well, you know, that's a little over an hour, actually. That's a long game.
Yeah, it could be. Some amount of SKUs right now. Now, the map that is being played on is Circuit Breaker. This is a map that is sort of like one of the evolutions of how maps wound up turning out. You have a very easy-to-defend natural expansion. Your main and your natural both have gas geysers. For a good 5-6 years, it was very rare to have access to a second gas geyser. There's a lot of one gas geyser strategies,
right?
Which basically meant that certain matchups were violently skewed in one direction as players got better. Also, this map has a very wide open center, so the sort of theme that we're going to see here is iNcontroL. His big focus for the first 10 minutes of the game, get expansions up. Nyoken's big focus is going to be to try to deny those and get control of the middle.
And you said like the first 10 minutes is getting those expansions up. The next 2 minutes after that is sneaking the lurkers up the ramp of Nyoken.
Yeah, this is iNcontroL is famous for doing this. We're trying to ninja lurkers up a ramp. Now, obviously, Nyoken's going to be aware of that. By the way, we should note this is like the matchup that changed the most in between the release of StarCraft 2 and StarCraft Remastered, where it was traditionally thought that you had to go Medic Marine and go into Science Vessels pretty much the whole game. And there was this game of the Science Vessel trying to irradiate the Defiler, and the Scourge are trying to intercept the Science Vessel. But there were mech builds that were used, but I mean, we saw them and you would start out going mech and it would stay like that. Now it seems like the current meta, as the way we understand it, is that you start out going bio pushing, getting about 1-1 up, and then you switch into mech when you start to get right around when they're getting to the hive tech. You start to go into mech, try to get a bunch of vultures, lay mines, and and then you go into tanks and you try to trade favorably and exhaust the Zerg over time.
I mean, this is an important concept to note, that Brood War is not really about having efficiency. It's about having more stuff. It's about having power. And efficiency is a tool you can use, but it's not what battles are about. And so, bio compositions are efficient in some situations. Mech kind of never really took off for like 10, 12 years in Brood War because it's just hard to get bases. Yeah, mech is perhaps the most efficient composition that there is in this matchup. But
that's right.
I mean, Zerg will just have 8 times as much stuff as you. So that's it.
Zerg's, if you try to go directly into mech, there's a lot of exploits Zerg have that can punish you because it just takes longer to increment things out of a factory than it is to just start out getting Marines. And so for the builds that we have so far, it looks like Nyoken is going to do a quick expand here. He's going to try to intercept these lings in the middle of the map. We get a shot of that. So he's going to drive them back and try to keep the Zerg zoned out of this area. And from here, he's going to power up. He wants to rush into stem and eventually try to get into a Science Vessel because there's a technique known as hold position lurkers. It is legal in tournaments. And definitely something like iNcontroL will try to exploit that. If you grab your lurkers, burrow them, and then let's say grab an Overlord in the control group and hit hold, the lurkers won't attack until you tell them to. So on some levels, if you theorize about it, it's actually very dangerous for Terran to be on the map until they have a Science Vessel because a few lurker shots and you'll wipe out an entire Terran army.
Yeah, like 2 rows of spines, like 2 lurkers shoot, and you will blow up all the Marines that are hit by both of them. They do ridiculous, crazy splash. But, I mean, what Nyoken did, by the way, that little push out, he was trying to force iNcontroL to make some additional Zerglings, but iNcontroL actually went for like a really early sunken. He's not screwing around. I think that this is something we might see a lot because a lot of guys here, this is just now coming out. StarCraft Remastered and the tournament kind of came together at the last second. So I think that we're going to see extra like early game safety from people. No one wants to lose right off the bat to like just something that we kind of forget from 10 years ago where it's like, I'm supposed to place these units right here so I don't die,
Yeah, I mean, I gotta note that, like, there's super advanced, like, proper strategies, and you don't have to do any of this, guys. Like, just
yeah, that's
like,
true.
You're supposed to take 3 bases fast. If you're playing, don't do that. Just build another hatchery in your main base. Build extra units.
The best advice you can give somebody in Brood War is just keep making stuff when you start out. Don't get caught up in all the fanciness of the strategy. I mean, you will eventually get there, but if you can mechanically get to the point where you're able to produce, you've gotten halfway there.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people start seeing like, I saw this guy do this fancy strategy in a stream, and I'm like, bro, you can't make SCVs efficiently. Let's actually focus on making workers.
Yeah.
Now, what we see Nyoken doing here, he's going to push out. This will probably force iNcontroL to make more sunken colonies. He doesn't have lurkers yet. Can we get a shot of this?
No, he has some Hydras ready. So
if this is timed out properly, a lot of times it forces Zerg to make 2 to 3 more sunken colonies. And what you've done is you force him to waste some drones, and then you can turn around. But whether or not he does that, you can end up with a contain. Now, iNcontroL snuck a base down here at the bottom left, as we can see, and it seems like Nyoken already.
Yeah, he's straight losing it. That base is not going to last here at all.
There's nothing he can do here, and it's very important, by the way, in this matchup for the functionality of Zerg. They have to have a third base up pretty quickly.
You have to have a third gas very specifically.
Well said.
That's like what you need. And look at this. He's actually waiting for it to finish to make sure he can kill it.
Okay.
But iNcontroL cancels. Smart move. But yeah, like this is it's kind of a tricky thing because iNcontroL.
He didn't get the drone.
No, he didn't.
Oh, he missed. Okay, no, he's going to get it now. I was going to say.
But yeah, like as Zerg, like you can kind of randomize where you put the hatchery. Like, for instance, a lot of times you won't put the hatchery there, you put it in the main, but maybe he was hoping that Nyoken uses a scan or something like that to scout it. But, like, that's the most important thing that's happened in this game.
Now, hold up. He actually might try to do the iNcontroL trademark move here. Okay, now he's not going to be able to get the lurkers to run by. Really good scan. Gets that lurker. Oh, he should actually have enough. If he keeps splitting this properly, now he can intercept these lurkers from behind.
Yeah, they're dead.
And this is iNcontroL up to a really bad start here.
Yeah, I mean, iNcontroL didn't go for the extra hatchery. There's the attack from behind, and there's the kill on the lurkers. So this is pretty dire for iNcontroL right now. Honestly, this is I think the hardest matchup for Zerg by a wide margin, just because it's so hard to get to 10 minutes. It's very easy to just all of a sudden I lost. Oh, there it is.
Here it is. Lurker drop
in the main base.
Now notice the positioning of the lurkers here. The Marines end up filtering through in between the buildings and the minerals. So this is going to be really hard for Nyoken to actually take out. And you have to remember that he can always pick up the lurkers and relocate them.
Yes.
He has to use a scan here to see that. The turret does not have enough range to see that, right?
It can see the bottom one.
It can see the bottom one. I think. Okay. But this is going to be hard. This is actually something that could turn this game upside down. Nyoken cannot get a good engage here. iNcontroL is going to be watching and trying to get a target shot. Can he actually get in there?
You might want to lift the command center after the scan.
Oh
my God.
That's why this is dangerous, because things get funneled in. It's exactly like you were saying earlier, Nick. And all of a sudden, this is a very unusual strategy to face. Most of the time, Zergs go Mutalisk into Lurkers, into Defilers. iNcontroL just going straight for this sort of harass style. And this is what's so cool, is that you might rarely see this in pro matches. But these are legitimately real, honestly frightening strategies, and brilliant. I love this by iNcontroL. He's double expanding on the back of this. Nyoken's going to have to waste more resources just trying to keep this alive, and I think this is relatively even right now.
By the way, if you guys are from StarCraft 2, you should be noted that when you get drop and speed, it's for all the Overlords.
Yeah.
So it's not like when we see that Overlord driven out back there that he can't drop. He can drop his entire army and get all of his Overlords. So what iNcontroL is doing is he's keeping the Terran pinned here, and even though Nyoken had a really good start, this has hiccuped him pretty badly.
Dude, is he going Zerg right now?
Oh, is he just going to try to battle this through?
Oh, my God. Well, he's definitely going to bust through these bunkers easily.
Oh, my God. He actually got Hydra speed. This is a little bit more unorthodox. He's going to burrow down here now. Actually, I think Nyoken might lose his game.
Oh, my God.
What a
sick
turnaround.
Play.
What a turnaround. Now, he has to very carefully inch lurkers forward. He's too far forward. He's overextended himself. This is really bad. The lurkers at the top are positioned well, but this is a good arc for the Terran Marines, and I don't think iNcontroL is going to get a good angle on these, but it looks like there was just barely enough lurkers.
He wasn't able to get either the top or the bottom one, so that this spread, it just optimizes the damage there. Now, iNcontroL is going to try to nudge these lurkers forward here. If he can actually start to hit the SCVs at the mineral patch, this is going to be bad news for Nyoken.
It's a bit dirty, too, because that depot right there, it's good against Zerglings, but against this, it's really bad. Like, it's harder to spread your Marines and actually attack. So it's like he needs a siege tank right now. He does have the factory with an add-on, but I think he was going for mines.
Okay, hold on. He's going for it. He's going for it. There's a lot here.
He's sweeping to the bottom. He's managed to get a very good angle, and a single siege tank is out, but it looks like there's no siege mode yet for Nyoken.
Yeah, now a siege tank can still outrange a lurker, but it's not going to do. It's not going to do.
You can't clear all that. Like, what's his detection? He's got like 2 scans. iNcontrol's got this, man. This game is definitely going to him.
Yeah, it looks like he's advancing forward, and there's some scans coming up on Nyoken.
He's going to try to target down the CC here.
Oh, this is brilliant. Nyoken is he has his Marines on the incorrect side, and he has to lift in order to actually get his
Marines. He's going to try to repair. He needs to get this command center back a little bit up to the north. Now, iNcontroL does not want to overextend here. Now, you got to remember, guys, there is a serious comeback mechanic in this game, so this may look pretty dire, but if iNcontroL makes a few errors here, it could turn around. But first, he's got to clean up these lurkers and hiders at the bottom of the ramp, and just trying to get the tanks down the ramp and hitting the lurkers is going to be hard enough as it is. It's just very hard to control the situation for the Terran.
He needs a science vessel at this point. He lost that 1 scanner, so he's sitting on 1 scan. He makes a drop ship, which, I mean, it makes sense. He needs to get out there and do something. Maybe he can deal some damage, but iNcontroL is, like, defending everything really well. He is really far ahead.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very deceptive situation to be in as iNcontroL, because it looks like you're in really good shape. Oh, no.
He's going to lose that.
Is he going to lose it? Is he actually going to?
Okay, he's going to get the unload. He's going to get the unload. Oh, no, the hiders are going to come in here and get the disruption.
Oh, my God. That's so bad for him.
And, you know, that was a risky move from Nyoken because he's taking some of the few units he has and trying to go across the map to do damage, and he loses that. And this is smart here. Oh, no.
Oh, my God. That's the way that works sometimes.
Yeah, well, if they're unburrowing and they're stacked like that, then you got to be careful. Okay, now they're gonna separate here eventually, but he lost a lot of lurkers back there.
Yeah.
Units are so stupid in StarCraft 1, man.
Dude, well, it's one of those things where the game is just saying to you, you actually do have to keep your stuff organized. Brood War is
exactly.
It's less a game about, ooh, did I make the magical right unit at the right time? And it's much more about, it's hard to be a commander.
Yeah, it's hard to be on top. I know a lot of you guys, if you haven't played this game before, are going to be screaming at your computer and knocking Capri Sun into your keyboard, but this is how it works, man. You got to be very organized. You got to be very disciplined, or you're going to be in trouble. Now, Nyoken actually can break this, and it's important to point out the fragility for both Zerg and Terran in this situation. Sometimes the Terran can get a proper engage if he controls it right and kill everything from the Zerg. And the same is true for the Zerg to the Terran.
Yeah.
You get a few lurker shots, all the Marines die. You have no idea how fragile these units are until you play. And what iNcontrol's done is he's gone Hydra Lurker, which is a little bit easier to control. It's not necessarily as cost effective, but it can work.
Yeah. This is a very iNcontrol thing too. Like he dubbed this man Zerg back in the day, right? Because people like to go Ling Lurker, they like to go Ling Muta into Lurker, into Defiler, that type of strategy. But like iNcontrol loves to go 2 Evo and rush to 2/2 Hydra Lurker and just bash you. Like he just fights you head on, which is something most Zergs don't try.
Yeah, a lot of Zergs like to go Ling Lurker. I know that's something you like to do a lot, Sean.
I frankly prefer Hydra Lurk, but I think it's worse. But like,
I think it's worse, but it's like
technically, but it's like the thing is, if you can do something well, it's good.
Yeah. iNcontrol set himself up well. I mean, he's doing all these positioning things. He's getting his expansions up, but this is the real danger period. This is what caused me to skew away from doing this. Is that if you get Defilers have a spell that say you're invincible in this area for 60 seconds, right? Dark Swarm is absolutely unbelievable. Ling or Hydra Lurker, things like this, like this sort of situation.
This is actually...
It's very easy to lose expansions like this. This isn't game losing, this is just bad. It's this period, though, where if Nyoken can get up a lot of tanks and a lot of Marines, he can swing back and win.
Yeah, there could be like one big engagement because he's already got like 5-6 siege tanks right now. He continues to make them. If he can bring these back, rejoin his army, he might have a ball big enough to push right through the Manzerg style.
Yeah, that is the real danger here. Nyoken actually went around and took out that expansion, and he's starting to stabilize pretty well. And I think in some sense, I think you guys would agree with this, if the longer Nyoken lasts in this game, the better he is against his style.
Yeah, I mean, like, iNcontrol probably have to begin transitioning, and the transition could be represented by a expansion, which we just saw get killed, or Hive Tech, which we see is not getting started. So this is relatively even. But this,
oh my God,
this is God. There's not
Jeff
an
is so dirty.
It's Jeff. He's a filthy Zerg. He's trying to
scumbag Zerg play here. So this is going to unload now. There's a lot of depots sort of unintentionally blocking this area off. So it's going to be harder for the Zerg to actually get in there and do the damage he wants to do. And I think actually Nyoken can basically bounce this back.
Yeah, this is never going to win, but this is very annoying to deal with because the only way to approach this is with siege tanks. For example, look at the Marines.
Yeah, he's attacking the front right now too.
Oh! He's trying to
not sure what happened there. But now the Marines are actually going to catch those Hydras. God, Nyoken doing some great plays.
Oh,
now.
Here we go. Now Hydra's enough.
Oh, God.
He's ready, 1, 2, 3. Oh! Okay, so that's really bad. He lost so many Hydras. And this is the problem, is Hydras purely versus Medic Marine always lose, but they pair well with the Lurkers.
Does he have 2/2 yet on the Hydras?
I don't know. It looks like
there's no Hydras to click on, so I guess we'll never know. But.
Yeah, well, there's the Lurkers coming from below.
Yeah, he's got 2/2. He's got 2/2. All right, now Nyoken has a split. Okay, he's got to get out of there. It looks like this base is going to be fine for now.
He needs to cut it off. Like, Marines really, really count. Really huge. Because if you're up against a typical matchup, like you're going against Marine Science Vessel, the Science Vessel is the scary unit. Because that's the only thing that can break through Lurkers and Defilers. But if you're up against... Or excuse me, if you're going Hydra Lurker, the tanks and the Marines are the scary thing. The Science Vessels are kind of like whatever. So picking off Marines is the most important thing.
Yeah, they're really the buffer that keeps those siege tanks alive. If the siege tanks don't die, they deal so much damage to this over time. But the upgrades of Jeff are insane. I'm not sure what the bio's at. Only 1-0. He's down 3 upgrades.
Oh,
yeah, this
my
is
God.
actually pretty bad. So Jeff can have some favorable exchanges, even if it is Hydra Lurker. But I think if Nyoken just stays and keeps trying to push, he'll take that natural that's just adjacent to his main. Okay, this is another thing you can do. And this, by the way, we see people try this in StarCraft 2 and it doesn't work as much, but because StarCraft 1 is so APM intensive, sometimes you can just try to take another main and they might not catch it for a while.
This is a very stressful situation to be in as Nyoken. Typically, you double expand right now as Terran and you begin to go mech. Why? Zerg is all cloistered back, defending up with Defilers, with Lurkers, has no mobility. Jeff, as we see, he's got a shitload of mobility.
no,
He's got
that's
drops.
what he goes
He's got
for.
Hydralisks. Like,
He's got to keep the vessel
gonna get a
alive.
vessel?
Okay, good job. He kept it alive. He's going to back up Siege up, and I think this expansion's probably going to fall. Now, Jeff is looking around. He's checking, okay, is there an expansion here? No, but, a hidden CC, if that goes undetected for a while, the Zerg could completely misread his position in the game and engage at the wrong time.
Is Jeff going Hive right now?
He's got Hive. He's
Yeah,
getting
okay.
extra hatcheries up. He's really starting to power up.
Up 3 upgrades and going into his Hive, like...
It's so close because Nyoken did get a lot of momentum back on that Hydralisk catch on this push up in the top corner, but push is starting to peter out. Jeff's like, screw it, it's a mineral base, man. I'm just going to bomb
I was going to say, that's great if he gets that base, but it is a mineral base, right? I mean, if you get a gas base, it completely changes the way that Zerg can tech, but this is like great. He's going to take it out. A hatchery is, of course, also a production facility. But
oh my God, 2/2 Hydras. See ya.
Yeah, this is getting pretty tough. I mean, iNcontroL is definitely in the lead. He doesn't have a clean closer till he gets to Hive. He has to get the Defilers up. So, just for the people who don't know anything about Brood War, the Defiler is a unit that casts a spell called Dark Swarm. Dark Swarm, nothing that is ranged can do damage.
That is all Terran units.
That is all Terran units.
Only Splash does damage.
The Defiler can also eat a Ling and get mana. So you basically have like an endless stream of Dark Swarms, and so it's kind of crazy. It's not in balance because you can try to get vessels in there and irradiate it, but it's insane.
Okay,
it
is
Artosis.
Here we go, Artosis.
It is imbalanced.
Oh no, Jeff was not looking in the middle of the map properly. He's not controlling the space he needs to do that. This expansion, this is a completely lucky break from an Nyoken. These Marines, they die real fast. They're very fragile. They don't do a lot of great work, but
he's just going to bust out, though, with the Defilers
well,
at this point.
This is going to be hard to control, by
the
way, guys.
Oh no! Oh, but he actually has a lot more than Nyoken. Oh.
Yeah, this might be just a game of numbers here. I think he just has too much, but that's pretty bad.
That's hilarious. He doesn't have Ling speed. How long are we into this game right now?
I know. This might be the first game I have seen in years where it's going to be adrenal glands for Zerglings.
without
Ling speed.
There's the Dark Swarm. And again, anything under the orange cloud takes no damage from range.
We should say that Lurkers do damage under Dark Swarm, just to clarify.
Splash damage works, but no ranged attacks. So that's like literally Terran has no units that does damage under. It's like a sick weapon.
This is a nice transition from Nyoken.
Is he going to try to switch into mech? Can we get a shot of Nyoken's main here?
Okay. He is.
Now he's trying to transition, but the problem is he doesn't have enough bases with gas to do
this
that effectively. You want to basically be on, what is it? I don't actually know. Is it 4 bases, 4 bases?
You need to push out, get 4 bases, and if one is struggling to stabilize, that's okay. But you need to have lots of money in order to make mech work. But way more importantly, the one reason why a transition to mech works is that the Terran player has map control.
Yeah. Okay.
Terran does not have map control right now.
It got spotted.
Can't cheese the cheeser.
So, well, you know what? Actually, with the Vultures coming here, I guess Vultures aren't great against Hydras, but he can actually try to salvage. The problem is that iNcontroL has enough muscle behind his army. He could probably just keep streamlining units down there, and this is going to be taken out.
But you know what? Now that he actually is getting a decent amount of mech units out here, if he can actually get a good amount of spider mines out in the middle, like you can do some pretty sick comebacks with that if they just kind of drag in.
He might have enough. I think he's just so this is like
this
the
is
longest
so smart.
1A move. And with ultras in the game, he can actually probably power through this and end this one.
This is Jeff. This moment right here is exactly what I'm talking about. Every other Zerg,
there
there's
it is.
GG. There it is.
GG.
Nyoken falls and iNcontroL wins game number 1. And I feel like the way that he won at the very end there, this game had like 4 traditional Jeff moments.
Yeah.
You know, like that. If I were in Jeff's shoes at the end of that game, what I would do is say, okay, let's shut down expansions. Let's expand. Let's grab the middle of the map. Jeff went, you're not making any more Marines, are you? I will just attack into your main base. That is always a horrible idea unless they're not actually making any Marines. So, I mean, that's just like very sharp timing.
So I think a lot of that game actually came down to the lurker drop.
Yeah.
At the start.
Oh, yeah, that was
he was actually okay. It looked like he was going to win the game, and then the lurker drop came in. And it's important to emphasize, like, the Marines are so brittle. If you can get a lurker shot that's going to hit the Marines in a line, it does not matter what the position is. Like, if you have 3 lurkers on a ramp, you can have a maxed out Terran army of Marines and medics, and they actually can't get up the ramp.
It can't even.
That's not an exaggeration, by the way. Like, it's basically impossible. And so the fact that he positioned that there, and I think you were right when you were saying there were like 4 quintessential Jeff moments, and one of them was he leveraged drops.
Yeah.
And he leveraged drops. He used Manzurg. Not many people go 2/2 Hydra Lurker, but like that makes such a different style. And Nyoken's sitting there without upgrades. He's just having, and then he's like slow pushing up a ramp to a mineral base. It's like, I mean, Jeff he played really well there.
Yeah, you know, like Nyoken looked like a player who had great mechanics, good recovery, good positioning, but was doing a practiced order.
Right.
Jeff was someone who's going, oh, here are what I'm identifying as the strengths and weaknesses of what I'm doing right now.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you.
We're all too excited.
I know.
We keep running over each other.
The StarCraft esports is real. I believe that's actually a best of 1 for this group. I would say,
it's best of 3. It's best of 3.
This is. Can we get confirmation? This is best of 3 or best of 1?
Best of 3.
Is this best?
Yes, best of
Okay,
3.
somebody was going like, I thought it was best of 1s. I was getting hand signals. Sorry, guys. Okay, so
he was probably just one of your fans. Like, you're number 1.
You're number 1, Chase. And I was like, I know. I got to cast the games though. So in a rematch here, what do you think Nyoken needs to do to do a better job?
I feel like that's the sort of loss that if you're a high-level player, you go drops, of course, right? You go, oh yeah. I was actually talking with the gents before the show that there's this thing in Brood War that I'm just going to call the hump, which is that it's really hard to get to 8 to 10 minutes into the game consistently in the same way every single time.
Yeah.
It's not that you will automatically die. Sometimes you do. Like, there's a lot of Terran players that get 2 lurkers in their main base, and they'll die. And I want you to know that's normal. That's actually very normal. That will happen. That's been happening to me. I lose 12 Marines on 1.19 all the time. It hurts. And if I'm Nyoken, I'm just going to go, you know what? That's right. I need to build 1 depot farther in the corner of my base to spot for that drop.
Yeah, and I guess it's also knowing the player, right? I mean, you got to think, okay, iNcontroL, like, especially with Hydra Lurker, drops are actually pretty damn good, just in general.
Yeah,
you can actually get in there and hit everything.
Tool to Manzurg, yeah.
It's not like if you do Lurker Ling, where sometimes the Lings sort of spill in and get shot down by Marines.
Oh,
just for the way it works. The Lurkers are broad. There's that as well. I'm not sure if our players are ready to go into game.
Jeff is standing up there, man.
Yeah.
I don't even know what he's doing.
Did you talk to Nyoken? He's like, hey, man, I beat you. How about that?
Machine's got a big
You could have won
big
it,
goofy
but
grin
you see
on.
my Lurkers get those SCVs? It was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, they're actually playing about 2 feet from each other.
I know, yeah. Like, Nyoken's mouse pad is so big that Jeff might be using it as well.
Yeah, you know, the media guys were always really interesting to me in the Brood War days, because you guys
are the
would
greatest humans that ever
The greatest
walked
humans.
the
But
earth.
continue, Sean.
Yeah, sorry.
You
go
were
ahead.
saying something about the greatest humans?
I couldn't help but think, these humans.
Yeah.
They're so great.
How do they do
Humans.
it? But like, you guys would like hop on and just play like 50 games against each other in a rotating fashion, like every single day.
Every single day. Like, we had a little Ventrilo group, and it just everyone would play, and it helped so much. Like, everyone raised to such a high level. By the end of Brood War, man, USA was better than anywhere but Korea. Like, everyone was practicing their asses off.
Germany would like to have a word with you.
Yeah,
Sweden
I'll have
would
a
like
word with Germany any day, man.
Polish kids yelling at their monitors right now.
Kidding me? Noni, Hydra, plus the nerds here. Oh, jeez.
Actually,
Eat it, Mondragon and Infernal.
We're into game number 2. We got Nyoken here in the upper left. We've got iNcontroL in the bottom left.
Infernal was so cheesy. It was like always winning everything. I don't know how it happened. Oh my god.
Pat was good, man. He was a good player.
Oh. Oh, yeah, we were great. America was great. Yeah, I mean,
America #1.
Yeah, you guys were, you would all play with each other, and you'd all discuss really intently what, you thought needed to be changed and improved in these games.
It was really cool. It was like the most fun time.
It's the closest thing you can get to a pro house, basically, is if you have 8 people in a, like, or you guess now would be Discord, right? But we'd have 6 guys specking, 2 guys playing, everybody giving input after the games. It's the way to do it. Definitely. So do you guys think iNcontroL is going to go for the Manzurg style again, a Hydra Lurker?
This map is weird. It's a really weird map. This is Arcadia. Yeah, so Arcadia is a map that, again, has some fundamentals to it. You have a very easy-to-access second base with a gas geyser, but this has an unusually easy mineral-only base to protect. We saw in the last game mineral-only bases are often a little bit off in an angle, have multiple attack entry points. You can get them, but it's sort of like if you're in a rough spot and you're just trying to claw your way in, getting another base. Not the case on Arcadia. You get very easy access to extra minerals. And if you look at the mini-map, Shampoo, if you can show us the 9 o'clock. Oh, Jeff doesn't have another hatchery. He's just almost done with his pool. Quickly.
Oh, wait, is he going to
There's an island. It's an island right here on the left at the 9 o'clock position. And there's another island at the 3 o'clock position.
Wait, is he going 1 hatch Lurker?
No, it's not Lurker. He's just going to go Lings. Like, Nyoken went, 2 Marines Command Center and was really skimping last game. And this is something about Jeff. If he sees you doing something that he thinks is weak, he'll just blind hard counter. He will absolutely try to screw up.
This is so brilliant. Look, see, Jeff, he's sending out this. No, you messed it up, Jeff. You take the
you want to make it look like you're trying to get a hatch. Okay, so he's going to get in here. Now, the problem is that Nyoken is going for a wall in here.
Which is very unusual.
And so, this is not what I expected him to do.
Dude,
so
Nyoken's
actually basically fine.
Yeah, Lings can get through the double depot, but if you build a 3rd depot behind it, it's completely tight.
Well, he's actually is he making a bunker? Am I seeing this correctly? He's going to bunker over there.
Yeah, no, that works too. But I mean, this is actually like a new thing, by the way. I was actually when the ladder pool was broken during the beta, where everyone was spawning the same positions every game. I was like, I'm gonna go 4 pools because I know where my opponents are, and every Terran was walling in, and I was like, wow, that's really weird. Map hackers.
This is this is actually just not going to work. And Zerg is supposed to have a 2nd hatch by now and begin mining. Yes. So Nyoken is basically fine. Now we're going to see if he can leverage this to his advantage, but Nyoken is basically not going to die at anything right away. Zerg, you can see they have to juggle drones in and out of gas, so he's going mining only minerals now to try to catch up, because you actually sacrifice a lot of drones, or the opportunity to have drones when you're doing something like this, going for 1 hatch right away.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to break him. Okay, now this is a funny part, right? Because he moves the SCVs back, and I think that's what Jeff was actually checking for last time. He has a couple more Lings coming up. There is the possibility to run past the bunker, but I think there's like 4 Marines in it, so it's not like a very good idea.
I got to emphasize here.
But if LZ Gamer was here, he'd have
18 Lings, right?
And he would,
maybe no speed.
Maybe you're right. Maybe it is 18.
Maybe that's the magic. There's no speed. All right, he crosses his fingers and just runs up the ramp.
Okay, this is dangerous for Nyoken, but also very skillful. He's just barely trying to push these back, and this is what makes Brood War such an interesting game, is that it's not, he's going to get this unit and then that different unit, so I'll respond with this new unit. It's a lot of...
It's not just decision trees. It's how you do it.
Yeah, you things are not hard countering each other, generally speaking. Like, if you control stuff well, you can kind of win some of the craziest fights. And we got to emphasize here, Marines are very brittle until they have medics with them in stim. No, that was a good move. So what he's doing is he's going down the ramp because he wants to have a superior surface area where the Lings can't get us around. So he nudges down there, shoots down some Lings, and backs up. iNcontroL is actually in a pretty problematic position here. Just economically, he's going to have to try to catch up as fast as possible. He's on 2 hatches, getting a layer. I'm liking the position from Nyoken.
Yeah, Nyoken is really stabilizing himself nicely. I mean, he's doing, in essence, eventually, if you tuned in like 10 minutes, you'd be like, oh, look, he's a normal Terran. And that, I think, is the hallmark of a strong Terran player, is they're just very good at converging to the same stable mid-game every game.
It's a mechanical race. Like, you get your wins by grinding the mechanics of it and, like, just making units.
Now this is such a brilliant timing from Nyoken. Look,
this is pretty ballsy, by the way. If iNcontroL had kept making links, it would have been surrounded, but he read him really well. And actually, he Archie Medics there.
Wow.
He's actually just going to bust him. This is like the most perfectly timed. GG.
That's
that
really
was
well
so
done.
well timed. So that might look to a new player a little bit confusing, like what happened. He just made Marines and killed him. But the fact that Jeff went for an opener like that with a lot of lings, and in a hope to punish a Terran that might have had Marines on the low ground, he was just in a bad spot. That was about as clean of a Terran game you can have there from Nyoken.
Yeah, and
that was well done.
It's those games that, like, if I'm the Zerg, I literally feel so bad about myself.
Oh, it's horrible.
That I'm like, I'm never doing that again. But then Jeff also won the national championship.
Yeah.
Against this guy.
Like this. Yeah, and that wasn't just a lucky year. Like,
this is a rematch.
Yeah, Jeff always pulls off insane wins like that. And, you know, the price that Jeff pays for his ability to, you know, win tournaments and win games like that is that sometimes you have a derp-ass game like that, and that's fine, you know.
And to be honest, there was like some luck there for Nyoken. What if he had scouted in the other direction with his SCV?
Yeah, very true.
The Lings will do something there, maybe not win the game, but you know, he'd get some value.
All right, we're in this game now. This is the third game between these two, so whoever wins this goes on to the winner's match. In the upper left, we have iNcontroL. In the upper right, we have Nyoken. Start this off. I am very curious to see how iNcontroL is going to play this. Yeah, because he's got to make some serious decisions. He's playing around a standard meta.
Yeah, this map is modern Brood War, period. This is Fighting Spirit. This is considered the best map that has ever been made.
Yeah.
I can't agree with you on that one.
I like
buddy.
Destination a lot.
Like, let me clarify. This is considered to be
the standard,
the most neutral standard.
Okay, yeah, that I'll
That's
accept.
true.
People always feel like they have lots of opportunities. You have again very easily accessible expansion with the gas, and you'll see at the 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and 9 o'clock there are these bases that have. You'll see that you actually have a kind of easily accessible third gas. So the map has a mostly open center, but it's shaped in a circular fashion. So this allows for lots of economically focused builds, but there's also enough vulnerable angles to do interesting counterattacks. The circular middle really makes sure that you understand good positioning of your central army.
Yeah, if you had to learn how to play right now, and you had to pick a map, this is probably the map.
Just play all your games on this map, in fact.
Yes.
Because that's like how all of us learned, is we would play like one map. In our day, it
started
was
out
probably
on
Lost Temple.
Oh, the worst map ever.
Yeah.
No, the best map, second only to Big Game Hunters.
Oh, God.
Well, then there's that whole debate. Who's really better?
Is it the BGH players or is it the guys that expand? We'll never know. It's an age-old battle that cannot be answered.
Yeah, for any of you who don't know what we're joking about, I mean, this is StarCraft in its competitive format that was shown in esports in Korea, that, you know, World Cyber Games that we went to every year, that, you know, it's where your bases mine out. You got to keep expanding, and that was the game. At the same time, there's an entire community that developed on infinite money maps, such as fastest map possible.
And they play with flippers on their hands because it's so easy to play. BGH. There actually is
no
competitive
expanding.
BGH. There's no well, essentially, I guess you could mine out a BGH.
Oh my God!
No, it's like 50k minerals per patch. You just don't mine that out.
But it's the most fun.
I wouldn't know. I don't touch BGH.
Like, oh no, I play plenty of BGH.
Yeah,
really?
No, I play BGH every few months, man. It's so fun. You do 2v2v 2v2s. The map is completely asymmetric. Everything is just a mix of random and out of control. Like you get done holding off a double 8 pool, you know, that just like tried to bomb in at you.
Oh yeah, those guys that actually 4 pool on BGH maps.
Yeah.
That's gone super meta.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you get attacked by 8 arbiters and they freeze all your minerals, and you're like, I don't know what game this is.
So we have Nyoken shifting gears here. He's going for a expand on low ground. Now, let's say that iNcontroL was doing the build he did last time. Nyoken would probably fall apart.
Yeah,
but
great point.
This is a game where both these guys are reacting to each other and actually doing a great job. It's going to be Jeff with, or I'm sorry, I'm going to call him iNcontroL with his 2-hatch layer. We'll see. He basically has to choose between either getting lurkers or mutalisks. I don't think he'd go mutas, but I'm not sure.
He's not much of a muta player.
Yeah.
Like when he was never known for having good muta micro. It's just not like within what he practiced. Like he's a strategic player. So like when he went mutas, it's because he knew he would catch you with the mutas so that they would do damage even without superb micro.
Yeah, it was not a technical. It was more of a surprise play.
Yes.
Then I'm gonna really micro and eke out damage with these mutas. So let's see what he does though. He's getting a second gas. Yeah, I mean for the time being, we're gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah, this is if you're a Terran player, if you're at mid levels of play, 3 hatch is not only the most common, but also feels like the most threatening. Zerg gets a lot of drones, gets a lot of mutas and lings, and pressures you. But I feel like at low levels and at high levels, like at those two ends of the spectrum, a 2-hatch Zerg is so scary because it maximizes the amount of options early in the game for Zerg.
Yeah, Zerg can start throwing punches pretty fast. A 3-hatch Zerg is, you're trying to get to a point where you can actually start to have that momentum later on.
Yeah.
But I'm not surprised at all that iNcontroL is going for a 2-hatch play here. We're still waiting. We're looking for either a Hydra Den or a Spire. There it is.
There it is.
Spire. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's
are those both Sunkens in the front? Because sometimes he puts a Hydra. Okay. Sometimes he tricks you with a Hydra Den out there.
Yeah, that's actually or an Evo or something like that. Because a lot of times Terran just come here and they see stuff making, and then they back up and it was never anything. He also has done a technique before that I've seen. Because a long, long time ago, I used to play, like, sometimes Terran against Zerg, and he would do this thing where he puts a Hydra Den out there and keeps it. So that you think he's going Lurker, and then he blindsides you with mutas.
The year that he won, I can't remember, 2007, I think I got top 4 and he eliminated me. And, like, he put down a Hydraless Den at the front, so I started countering Lurkers, then mutas flew into my base. I had no turrets. I lost all my
he did this to
SCVs.
me at some he did this to me in some online tournament a long time ago where he had a Hydra Den at his front as a GVP. And I'm sitting there like, idiot, show him Muse Dan. And then Muse fly into my main and I lose, and I'm like, no!
Yeah, and I mean, I just want to, give props to Nyoken for just so beautifully cutting corners is not quite the right word, but I mean, there's no bunker at his front. He needed to build a supply depot, so he built a supply depot at his front to try to wall in. He leaves his base with this very small amount of Marines, and at the same time, he sends an SCV down to the bottom right corner.
Yes.
He's scouting there. And of course, the move out protects the SCV, and he's splitting his scouting.
Yeah, and here's a second SCV. Now, this is the most likely place for Zerg to expand, by the way. That's
brilliant. So good by Jeff to have those Zerglings there.
If you want to go super meta, you put 2 lings there, and then you send a drone to the bottom right. That's
or the bottom middle. That's the LZ Gamer base right there.
Now,
I don't know if he's going to have enough, though. Let's see how well Jeff controls his mutas, because there's actually...
If he had just made a beeline there, he kills a lot.
Come on.
All right, we see iNcontroL trying to mute a micro against an SCV and not working.
This is like Nyoken is completely underprepared, and Jeff should 100% not go around like this.
He hid the drone. We got to see is he going to find this drone or not? It's so important this drone survives. Even if he doesn't get the hatch now, he needs to keep the drone alive and get the hatch later because the travel time is actually too much, and he hasn't found it. And these mutas can actually come in here and snipe that one Marine, and Nyoken is going to be completely off tempo.
I really feel like Nyoken lost a window of opportunity. iNcontroL lost a window of opportunity because now the turrets are up.
Yeah, you're right.
But this is kind of one of these weird things that it's like it looks like a big mistake from iNcontroL, but it's actually like a really weird small mistake because
you expect them to have their turrets. Like Terrans make their living having turrets up before the mutas get there.
Yeah, usually at the exact moment the mutas can get there. You can time it out. So, okay, I think he actually got a scan up. He's going to try to go back.
Jeff can win this in a straight up fight, and this is the efficiency that he's trying to go for.
Okay, so this is a back and forth game. He's trying to abuse the ledge. He wants to shoot out some mutaglaves, connect with those Marines. Keep in mind, 2 medics don't have a ton of energy if you have to keep stimming like this. But that was a bad play. Jeff actually with a little bit of poor muta control there. If these reinforcements get there, Nyoken can bust this down
easily.
And he's on easy street, I'd say, from here on out in this game.
I'm really surprised Jeff didn't bring like a group of lings on. I know he's only on 2 hatches, but if he just had like 6-8 lings, he cleans up that one group right there, and then suddenly Nyoken is a little bit nervous about moving.
And amazingly, Jeff found time to get lurkers in all of this, and another hatchery. Like that's.
Problem is, if he doesn't have a third base, and more particularly a third gas, he doesn't have what he needs. Terran can just keep making Marines, and as long as they have basically 1 vessel, they're going to be fine at the state of the game.
This is...
Whoa!
Yeah.
This is not going well. Oh, and this interception here by Nyoken. If he gets one clean scan and targets down these lurkers.
Oh my God, that lurker's so badly hurt. He can't do anything.
Throw the lurkers! Throw the lurkers!
Oh.
I'm going to get an aneurysm casting this game. My God.
No,
he gets his tank back.
Oh, is he good?
I don't know if Jeff's got himself in a position that's desirable at all here. He's basically sandwiched. Like, these lurkers are going to die.
No.
And Nyoken should be able to clean this up fairly easily.
It's a pretty good couple spines there at least. But, yeah. That was definitely not what Jeff was looking for at all.
Well, the problem is, minus the third base, he lost 4 lurkers. The lurkers are pretty precious in a ZBT. I mean, if you can go for a while in ZBT with engagements where you're not losing lurkers, you're basically 100% winning. And so to lose those lurkers is bad news. With Terran, you're making Marines and medics the whole game, so there's a degree of expendability in that sense.
Yes,
whereas
absolutely.
Lurkers are quite precious. Now, in case you're wondering, okay, what matters for Terran? Well, tanks are important, but vessels are the most important thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like if Nyoken controls this right, and he's very good at splitting Marines, by the way. We've already seen this. And controlling a max out Terran army, not that we're there yet, but just so you know, even when you have a few control groups, is very hard to do. If Nyoken can control this directly and properly, and he doesn't die to hold position lurkers, I think he just wins this game.
Yeah, Nyoken is looking very
good.
good.
Sense. Look at this.
Wow.
He just knew.
Good pullback, though. Plenty of time there by Jeff.
And this is a really subtle move from Jeff as well, or in control as well, where you burrow along angles you don't want them to sneak at, even though it's unlikely for the fight to happen here. And Nyoken is like, nope, I'm going to shut down all these angles. These are units I can pick up. Nyoken is not looking to break any current position. It's fine if In Control defends this, but he wants to get a few lurkers here, a few lurkers there.
Right.
And it's these small efficiencies that will add up to a Zerg that simply doesn't have anything to defend against a big
basically,
push.
Nyoken's picking fights and shaving off enough of the army where it just becomes problematic. Now, I will tell you guys, if the vessel's not in the front, this oh no! Hold position, no! I was about okay. He beat me to it. I was going to say, hold on, because he's going to connect. He needs to get the vessel.
Oh my God!
Oh,
good save. Okay, so you have to lead with the vessel always, and it's a lot harder than it looks when you're controlling this many units because someone like In Control is going to go for hold position lurkers and completely obliterate your army.
Okay, so he has the 3 siege tanks. Jeff is just trying to buy time right now because I think he's trying to rush the Guardians, but like I don't think he has enough time. The 3 siege tanks with siege mode he can plow through this expansion, but really with the amount of units he has, he can just push right through the front.
Yeah, it's kind of funny in this matchup. Hold on.
Oh,
whoa. Okay, one connection. It takes 2 to kill off a vessel. Yeah, it's super important to keep in mind. Oh, hold on. Let's actually see if he saves his base before I start yapping about the meta of this matchup, because if In Control does not have a third base, he's effectively out.
Oh, he can't lose those mutas. Oh my God.
Wait, is he going for a Greater Spire?
I think that's his plan here. Like if
no.
I think. That
okay. So he's just going for.
Well, he's not now. Sometimes you can switch into Guardians and blindside.
If you have if you have 4 of them left, and the thing is he's making siege tanks and stuff, so it can work.
Oh, Jeff is trying to exploit this transition. It looks like Nyoken, I mean, is trying to take a base in the bottom right, is going for these vultures, and this is a slightly too hasty transition.
If I were Nyoken, I wouldn't even go for Mecca at all on this. Yes. I would stay with SK Terran. I don't think there's anything that necessitates him transitioning. Now, Nyoken is actually okay as long as he just keeps lifting the command center, because this push, please lift. Okay. Jeb Bush, please clap. So we have the push. We have the push, and I think he's going to lose at third base here as long as he gets a scan up. And Jeff may tap out. In Control may tap out. God, it's hard actually knowing these people and casting these games. In Control may have to tap out here, and that means Nyoken wins the series.
Yeah,
well, I mean, he's still going to have defilers, so you can still, just pull a victory. Well, he's got, 2 science vessels maybe right now. He's used Irradiate recently, so you go over with a couple defilers and just do a push. You can sometimes, get on top of the barracks and still win. So I think Jeff shouldn't be giving up to the last second.
Yeah, I mean, for any of you who will no doubt be playing StarCraft Remastered, if you're Terran and you open going Marines, tanks, and science vessels, It is okay to just keep doing that.
Yeah, it is viable.
You can get to A+ level doing just that. The mech shift needs conditions in order to operate fully effectively.
Yeah, I feel like Nyoken's trying to force it almost, but it might not matter because economically Jeff is just too behind.
Well, he's practiced with this specific style a lot as well. He was telling me that all of his preparation for this tournament was actually in TVZ, focusing on hitting the mech transition right. He felt like that was the best way for him to practice.
And now that he's this is the one attack that Jeff has left. Jeff needs to be a little bit closer to 70 or 80 supply at this point.
Yeah.
Typically, Zerg is behind by about 40, 50 supply, almost at all points, which is fine.
So the Vessel, he needs to start irradiating these defilers. There we go. There's one. He should have. I think he has enough mana for a second.
Yeah, he does. That's really brutal.
There we go. And so the problem is, since Zerg is so gas hungry and being on 2 bases, every defiler you lose is a disaster, basically.
And with that many mines up, like, he can't even come down this hill right now. Ugh.
And this right now is the look of stability out of a meching Terran player.
By the way, if we get a, this is kind of obscure, but if we can get a shot of the barracks that are floating out, since he's switched into mech, he just uses the barracks to spot, and you might be wondering what happens if he loses him. He doesn't really care. Scourge can end up flying into that. It's a kind of a headache for the Zerg in general, and it's just a really good way to kind of leverage your situation. If you have buildings that you can't really use at that point in time, Terran always float them and just sort of put them out there to spot or to get in the way or to scout.
They spot so much, and very importantly, against mech, nothing that Zerg has that shoots air is good. You don't want any of that stuff. You want Lings, some Defilers, you want Ultras, and like Hydras, for instance, are the worst thing you could make right now.
Absolutely.
And Mutas just won't have the upgrades to fight against like Goliaths with 3 upgrades. They won't do anything.
This is the boa constrictor Terran moment.
Well said, dude.
You just go, well, all right, well, you're gonna run out of oxygen eventually.
iNcontroL, this is your problem now. Figure out how to get out of this. You know, the thing is, I don't see an out right now. If iNcontroL is expanding to a location that is completely surrounded, Nyoken, I think he's taking this tournament seriously. He wants to win, but he's saying, okay, I'm just going to play it safe. Let's not do the Harlem Globetrotter play and try to split all my units perfectly. And everybody's like, oh, you're amazing. He just says, okay, look, I'm just going to keep smashing the third base over and over again. Zerg's going to lose.
Yeah, I mean that's a great identification of the theme of Nyoken's play. Kill the third, kill the third, kill the third. His first Marine troop went to the bottom left to kill the third, came back to kill the third. iNcontroL expanded to the 9 o'clock expansion. Nyoken pushes out to the top, cuts down, kills the third.
And these lurkers have to scoot backwards here, and the tanks obviously outranging the lurkers. It becomes incredibly problematic.
This is also a funny moment because you stop making Marines, so the vessels are hard to fly.
Thought it was going to get away.
So funny.
And see, that's what I was talking about. The Scourge can end up hitting the barracks, which gets really annoying. And Terran's obviously completely fine with that. It would never be wise to have a Scourge hit a building. So he's going to try to get these lurkers up here. He needs to get a Dark Swarm and buy time.
It's really hard. There's enough splash on the mech side of things, though, that Dark Swarm becomes less effective in this matchup.
Now, lurkers above ground still take damage from this.
Oh, that mine!
Oh! No! That should be the GG moment here. I don't really see a recoupable point at all. Now, the lurkers, by the way, if they're burrowed underground, do not take damage from these siege tanks. They don't take damage, from anything ranged. But when they're above ground, they're still going to take a lot of hits, and they're pretty bulky units, so that splash it's pretty brutal. And I think we're close to the end here, guys.
Yeah, it really looks like it. Like, he needs this third gas up, and he's not making any headway. Everything he does is so cost inefficient.
Yeah, and even when he sees a few mutas, all he has to do is make Goliaths, and the mutas are going to completely destroy it.
He can even just push with missile turrets. It's like
he can do whatever he wants.
Well, Jeff was behind economically, like basically all game. Don't forget he opened 2 hatch muta, and that third base, as Sean so eloquently pointed out, was taken down many, many times.
So these Lings coming up here, they're no match for the Vultures. The tanks are not going to be killed fast enough by the mutas. And you can see that this map is halfway to being completely purple here. I'm assuming iNcontroL, you don't mine out that fast, right, from your main as Zerg?
No.
You don't really, right?
It takes quite a while.
You don't need as many drones.
You only have about 12 drones mining a lot of the time.
He's going to try to switch into a greater Spire, but it's not even about the strategy anymore. It's about the number of expansions that he has here. iNcontroL putting up, I think, the best fight he can, but you're not going to be able to deal with this. He's got to be careful, by the way. Those mines are on top of those tanks. This is...
Well, that's a lot of tanks to get next to.
Yeah, I mean, there's just nothing he can do. There it is, GG.
iNcontroL was up 1-0. Nyoken pulled back, made it 2-1.
Yeah.
And
really good play, though. Like,
nice series.
Yeah, we're really kind of wondering what kind of shape everyone's in because we've all been away for so long. But Jeff put up some good games. It looked like Jeff games and everything. And
Jeff has actually played StarCraft Remastered for 9 hours, he said.
9 hours?
Yeah, because he said that he wanted to wait until it released and play it in its full form for the first time, but then he couldn't wait, so he just started playing it. But just a nice series that it just reminded me so much of the days of yore.
Can we get Nyoken over here?
Yeah,
can someone get us Nyoken?
We need a
G5,
Nyoken.
can you get us Nyoken? Nyoken.
Nyoken.
Big Dan, come.
Also, come right over here.